They told you it's just aging, that the cold feet, low energy, and fading intimacy are simply part of getting older. But what if they were wrong? What if the real issue wasn't age at all, but something you're not doing every morning? Something as simple as a tablespoon of what's already sitting in your kitchen cabinet. I'm Dr. C. James, a men's health physician with over 3 decades of experience helping seniors reclaim strength, clarity, and closeness in the second half of life. And I've seen firsthand how powerful natural solutions can be, especially when modern medicine has no answers. Most people think apple cider vinegar is just for weight loss or salad dressing. But what if I told you it could actually help your blood flow more freely, your body feel warmer, and your connection with your partner grow deeper, even after 60? In this video, I'll show you exactly how to use apple cider vinegar to improve circulation and intimacy naturally, safely, and effectively. And there's one critical mistake most seniors make with it that could be holding them back. Stay with me. I'll reveal it shortly. Before we get started, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and tap that button and turn on the bell so you never miss practical natural health advice made for life after 60. And if this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I'm here to listen and to make each video better for you. Let's begin by understanding what's really happening inside your body after 60. Because before we talk about how apple cider vinegar can help, you need to know why circulation slows down in the first place and why it's affecting more than just your energy. 1. Why circulation matters after 60 and why it slows down. I remember speaking with a gentleman named Walter, 72 years old, retired teacher, devoted husband. He sat in my office and said, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore. My hands are always cold. My legs tire out faster than they used to. And the spark between me and my wife, it's dimmed." His voice wasn't full of fear. It was full of quiet resignation, and I've heard that same tone too many times. What Walter was describing wasn't just getting older. It was poor circulation, the kind that creeps up slowly after 60, affecting your warmth, your mobility, even your sense of closeness with the one you love. As we age, our blood vessels lose flexibility, arteries stiffen, making it harder for the heart to push blood through the body. Tiny capillaries don't deliver oxygen as efficiently. The result? Cold hands and feet, slower recovery, mental fog, and yes, a fading of that physical connection so many couples quietly miss. But here's the thing. This decline isn't always permanent. In fact, in many cases, it can be improved. Your body still remembers how to circulate blood well. It just needs the right support. And it turns out a powerful piece of that support might already be in your kitchen. Walter was surprised when I mentioned it. He raised an eyebrow and chuckled. "You're telling me vinegar could help bring the fire back?" I smiled and said, "Not just any vinegar and not just any way. Because when used correctly, apple cider vinegar can do far more than most people realize. It's not a magic cure, but it's a remarkable catalyst, one that's helped many of my patients feel warmer, move easier, and yes, reconnect in ways they thought were gone for good. So, how does something so simple make such a difference? That's exactly what we're about to uncover. If you're still here and this message is resonating with you, drop a number 1 in the comments so I know you're walking this journey with me. Now, let's keep going and dive into the next insight together. 2. The natural power of apple cider vinegar, ACV. When I first started recommending apple cider vinegar to my older patients, I'll admit the reactions were mixed. Some gave me puzzled looks, others laughed politely. One woman, Eleanor, who was 68 and had struggled with low energy and cold extremities, looked at me and said, "Doctor, I've got 3 bottles of that stuff collecting dust in my pantry. I thought it was just for cleaning my countertops." I smiled and nodded because I hear that all the time. What most people don't realize is that apple cider vinegar, when it's raw, unfiltered, and used properly, is a powerhouse of natural support, especially for those of us in our 60s and beyond. You see, ACV contains acetic acid, which has been shown to help regulate blood sugar and gently lower blood pressure. That alone can help ease the burden on your circulatory system. But it does more than that. It encourages your body to produce more nitric oxide, a compound that helps open up blood vessels, allowing blood to flow more freely, especially to areas that matter most for movement, memory, and yes, even intimacy. And that warmth you miss in your hands and feet, that circulation, that low-level brain fog that creeps in during the afternoon, circulation, that lack of physical response when you want to feel close to your partner. You guessed it, circulation. Again, ACV works with your body to support all of these areas naturally and without the harsh side effects that so often come with medication. What's most beautiful about ACV is that it's gentle. It doesn't force your body, it reminds it. It nudges it back toward balance, the way things used to work when you felt more alive in your own skin. Now, you may be wondering, how exactly do you use it? How much? When? With what? And is there a wrong way to take it that could cancel out the benefits? Let's walk through it all step by step. This is where most people make their biggest mistake, and it's easy to avoid once you know. 3. True story. How Harold and Betty got their spark back. Harold and Betty had been married for 43 years when they first came to see me. They were that kind of couple you immediately feel warmth around. Soft smiles, knowing glances, the quiet rhythm of two people who've truly lived life side by side. But underneath that comfort was a sense of something missing. Harold was the one who finally said it out loud. "Doc," he said, gently tapping his chest, "I love her more than ever, but lately I feel like my body's forgotten how to show it. I'm tired. I'm colder than I used to be. And the closeness between us, it just feels different." He wasn't asking for a miracle pill. He was looking for something real, something that honored his age without surrendering to it. We talked about small changes, walking more, drinking more water, cutting down processed foods. But I also suggested one more thing: apple cider vinegar. Just 1 tablespoon each morning, mixed in warm water with a touch of honey. Simple, consistent, natural. They were skeptical, of course, most people are, but they were also willing. A month later, they came back to my office with a lightness I hadn't seen before. Harold sat down grinning. "It's working," he said. "My hands are warmer. I've got more energy." And Betty and I, well, let's just say we've been holding hands a little longer these days. It wasn't about youth. It wasn't about turning back time. It was about circulation, vitality, and emotional connection returning in a way that felt true to them. And that's what I've seen time and time again. When the body starts working with itself again, the heart follows. Stories like Harold and Betty's remind me that it's never too late to feel better, to feel closer, to feel alive. And the beautiful part, their journey didn't require anything extreme. Just a few mindful steps starting with that 1 tablespoon a day. So now let's talk about exactly how to use apple cider vinegar, when to take it, how much, and what you absolutely need to avoid if you want the full benefits. This is where the details matter most. 4. Exactly how to use apple cider vinegar for circulation and intimacy. The beauty of apple cider vinegar is how simple it is to use. No complex routines, no expensive treatments, just a small daily habit that can quietly shift how your body feels and responds. But like anything natural, the power lies in doing it the right way. I've seen people either overdo it, use the wrong type, or give up too early before the benefits begin to unfold. When I talk to my patients, I tell them this: make it a ritual, not a chore. Take 1 TBSP of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, the kind with the mother still in it, and mix it into a glass of warm water. Not cold, not hot, warm. That helps soothe the stomach and allows the vinegar to work more gently. If the taste is too strong, a teaspoon of honey makes it much easier to sip. and honey brings its own benefits for circulation and immunity. Do it first thing in the morning before breakfast. This gives your digestion a head start, supports stable blood sugar throughout the day, and most importantly, gets your blood flowing early. It's subtle, but over time, you'll notice your hands aren't as cold, your brain doesn't feel as foggy, and there's a quiet strength in how your body moves and responds. Some of my patients like to add a pinch of cinnamon for flavor and even better blood sugar support. Others follow it with a light stretch or a short walk outside. Just 10 minutes can help move the benefits through your system more effectively. But there's one important warning I always share. Don't drink it straight. That's the biggest mistake I see. It can irritate your throat, damage tooth enamel, and upset your stomach if you're not careful. Dilution is key. Now that you know how to use it, let's talk about when it could actually do more harm than good. Because while this natural remedy can help many, there are a few situations where you'll want to be cautious, and you might be surprised by what they are. 5 important safety notes. Use it smart. I always tell my patients this. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's harmless. Apple cider vinegar is powerful, yes, but it needs to be respected. Used correctly, it can support your health in amazing ways. Used carelessly, though, and it can become irritating or even counterproductive. A few years ago, I had a patient named Linda, 66, spirited, curious, always eager to try natural remedies. She'd heard about the benefits of ACV and was excited to start, but instead of mixing it with water like I had suggested, she began taking it straight from the spoon, 2 tablespoons a day, undiluted. Within a couple of weeks, she called me complaining of stomach burning and a strange feeling in her throat. What she didn't realize was that ACV is highly acidic. Taken without water, it can erode tooth enamel, irritate the esophagus, and upset the digestive system. That's why I always recommend mixing it with warm water and sipping it slowly, not shooting it back like medicine. And if you have acid reflux or a sensitive stomach, start with a smaller amount, maybe even half a tablespoon, and listen to how your body responds. It's also important to talk to your doctor if you're on medications for blood pressure, blood sugar, or diuretics. Apple cider vinegar can subtly enhance or interfere with how those medications work. For most people, it's safe, but for some, it requires a little caution and professional guidance. And while 1 or 2 tablespoons a day is generally fine, more is not better. In fact, overdoing it could lead to potassium imbalance or weaken bones over time. This is about gentle support, not force. I've always believed that healing works best when we meet the body with kindness, not extremes. And ACV, when used with intention and respect, becomes not just a remedy, but a daily reminder to treat your body with care. Now, all of this leads to a much deeper question, one I hear all the time. Can something this simple really bring back feelings of warmth, desire, and emotional closeness in your relationship? Let's talk about that next. 6. Why this matters. Intimacy after 60 is still sacred. I remember one afternoon I sat across from a couple in their 70s, Robert and Janice. They'd been together over 50 years. Their love was quiet, but deeply present in the way they looked at each other, finished each other's sentences, smiled when the other one spoke. But when the conversation turned to intimacy, they both looked down, then at me. Robert finally said, "It's not that the love isn't there, it's just the connection feels distant sometimes. We miss how it used to be." That moment struck me because what they were saying wasn't unusual at all. In fact, it's something I hear more often than many might expect. Intimacy after 60 is not just possible, it's essential. It's not only about the physical side of love, but about closeness, confidence, laughter, and feeling like you're still seen, still desired, still alive. But when circulation declines and energy dips, so does that sense of connection. It's not about fading affection, it's about the body not responding the way it once did. And that disconnect can quietly affect self-esteem, communication, and even sleep. That's why something as simple as apple cider vinegar, when used consistently, can be so meaningful. Because when the body starts feeling better, when there's warmth in your hands again and energy in your mornings, it's not just your health that improves. It's the way you show up in your relationship. That gentle touch, that evening conversation, that unspoken feeling that you're still in this life together fully. You don't have to settle for distance or disconnection. I've seen too many couples rediscover their rhythm later in life to believe that it's too late. In fact, for many, it's just the beginning of a more honest, more tender chapter. So, what can you realistically expect to feel if you stick with this daily habit? What changes happen in 30 days that could shift the way you move, think, and connect, not just with others, but with yourself? Let's take a look. 7. What happens after 30 days of daily use? 30 days might not seem like much, but you'd be surprised by what can change in just 1 month when you give your body the right kind of support consistently and gently. I've had patients who were skeptical at first, understandably so. They thought, how could something as ordinary as apple cider vinegar really make a difference? But then the small shifts began to show. A little more warmth in the hands and feet, mornings that didn't feel quite as slow, a sense of mental clarity that hadn't been there in a while, and maybe most meaningful of all, a return of interest in connection, in closeness, in feeling good in your own skin again. One man, Richard, told me that he started noticing his afternoon crashes weren't as intense. It used to feel like the day just shut down around 2 p.m. He said, "Now I stay steady, like there's fuel in the tank again." Another woman, Clara, said she didn't even realize how foggy she'd been until the fog lifted. She called it getting my sparkle back. What's really happening is simple. The body starts remembering better circulation, more stable blood sugar, fewer inflammatory responses. It all adds up to a version of yourself that feels more grounded, more alive, more available to the life you still want to live. And it's not about perfection, it's about progress, day by day. Will apple cider vinegar solve everything? Of course not. But used with care, it can be a powerful ally. One that helps you reclaim the small but vital parts of your well-being that so often go overlooked after 60. And if that's what can happen in just 30 days, imagine what's possible over the next 6 months. In just a moment, I want to leave you with something personal, a message for anyone who's ever wondered if it's too late to feel whole again. Stay with me. This part might be the most important of all. Final word from Dr. James. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you not just for listening, but for caring enough about your health, your connection, and your future to be here. That alone says something powerful about the kind of life you want to live and the kind of heart you still carry. Over the years, I've seen what happens when people believe they're too old to change. I've also seen what happens when they realize that age isn't the enemy. Disconnection is. And when you give your body the right kind of attention, even something as small as 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar each morning can become a symbol of something much greater. It's a signal to your body that you haven't given up, that you still want to feel warmth in your fingers, clarity in your mind, energy in your steps, and love. Not just memory of it, but real living closeness. You now know what slows down circulation, how that affects your body and relationships, and how something as humble as apple cider vinegar can support your blood flow, your hormones, your energy, and even your intimacy. You've heard the stories, real people, real change. You've learned how to use it safely, how to avoid common mistakes, and what to look for after 30 days. But more than anything, I hope you take this with you. It's never too late to feel more alive. Your age doesn't define your joy. Your heart still knows how to connect, and your body, if given the chance, can still surprise you. So, as you take your next step, Whether that's pouring a glass of warm water tomorrow morning or sharing this message with someone you love, do it with the belief that your best years aren't behind you. They're still being written, and I'll be right here cheering you on. Every step of the way,